have a successful day, you really need to know your co-teacher or an assistant, whoever's in the room with you, and be able to communicate what you expect from them and be open with them if something's not going the way you envision it or you wish they were doing something different. I think it's important to say to them, I'd really appreciate if you help them wash their hands while I'm on the carpet, because sometimes I don't think that they're necessarily doing something to make your job harder. We just have to communicate to make sure everyone knows what each other wants.
Like before we go on break and the children are resting, we'll sit down and talk about how's your day going, whatever you learned today. Are there any ideas you have for a lesson plan or the monthly lesson plan? We'll talk about conferences that are coming up. Do you have any goals you have for a certain child, or how do you think they're developing? We just haven't taken time out before we get into other stuff to sit down and talk to each other. So definitely communicating, that's the key.
If staff don't communicate each other, they can't work as a team, and my staff are really wonderful about coming in, not calling out for any little excuse, because they know they'll be letting the team down.
You're making a triangle, Orlando. Good for you. I really wanted one.
I'm going to give you a little bit so you can make the stem.
Did anybody make an oval pumpkin? Mo and I bounce back off of each other constantly. He just in general is always in a good mood, so it's a great atmosphere all day. So maybe if I've walked in with, having 2 children, whereas he does not, and I'm not in the best mood, as soon as I walk in, it's all gone. It's all erased. We are in our own world. So for 8 hours, we just have a great time. We both love what we do. We work very well together, and it just ends up being a great atmosphere for everybody involved. But if it was somebody that I didn't get along with quite as well, which has happened, it's been 10 years, it's not a fun environment necessarily for the children. They thrive off of what's happening. If you're in a good mood, they know. If you're not, they know, and it all comes back on them. It bounces back off of them.
Okay, so we're just going to count down, and then we're going to blast off. All right?
They don't have to be friends, but they have to be friendly with one another. We create the home away from home environment, and we want the parents and the children to feel that. The children are very intuitive, so you want a good relationship with those teachers. So, get to know them, know their quirks. If you see a co-teacher getting frustrated, you can step in and they'll do the same for you. So it's a give and take relationship.
We work so well as a team, and there is not anyone I could think of working, being happier with. I think that the entire place, our entire center, is based on a mutual respect for one another. We communicate with each other. We see each other outside of work. We have things that we get together for, and we have the continuing education hours that we attend, or the classes that we attend and everything. And I think a mutual respect for one another, and communicating about the children, and all being on the same page as far as how we want to nurture them and want to help them learn. We're all kind of just on the same page about that.
We learn what each other's strengths are, what each other's weaknesses are. We have, here at the Child Development Center, this is something I learned a long time ago in Michigan when I was working with a group of people, and we were in a toddler room, and we had a code word that we said. At the time it was Eiffel Tower. Here we need a drink of water. So if a staff member says, I need a drink of water, that tells the rest of us that person needs a break. Whatever that may be. It might be a break from a child. It might just be to get out of this room and breathe. Whatever that is, that's our code word. We know it. So if I'm in my office and I hear it, that's the first thing I do, is come out of my office and see how can I help that staff person. And that collaboration makes for a happier staff, I think. And I think children know that. I think they know when you're happy being where you are, then they will also be happy in the space that they are in. That role modeling of that is really important.
How does it make your tongue feel? The teamwork, me and my assistant, we have a great teamwork. We are able to bounce ideas off each other, work together. When I'm getting stressed, she can see it and she'll step right in, and I do the same for her. So we have that relationship where we can read each other, and it's also not, I'm lead teacher, she's assistant. We kind of co-teach and help each other out as best as possible, which makes our room flow extremely well because we're both there, we're both involved, and we both know what each other is thinking. So the teamwork really helps, and it's even a stress reliever because I know I can count on her to be there when I'm just at my limit.
You have to find the right team that matches. There are some folks that just cannot work together. But when I talk with my staff and my teams, I tell them working together as a team is kind of like a dance. They have to know each other's movements. They have to know who has the better strengths, where those strengths lie, and how to best implement them or utilize them. Just like a dance, there's always going to be a lead and there's always going to be a follower. And if they work in perfect unison, the dance is going to look beautiful and the classroom is going to run beautiful. And so using that image for my staff, they really take that to heart, and if they have a bad day, they'll even come and tell me, oh, our dance was really awful today, because they realized they were not in sync.
I think every daycare center goes through a period where you can find one person that throws the whole chemistry of the daycare off, and we've had some incidences like that. But right now we have a very, very, very good harmonious center as far as coworkers go.
If they can't work it out together as an adults, then they come to me and I mediate with them, and we talk about what really the problem might be, what is the underlying problems, and where their strengths lie and how we can fix the problem. Most times, if everybody sits down and we can mediate and we can really discuss it, there's really never a really big problem. If there ever is a really big problem, then we have to find the solutions.
The main thing is knowing that everybody's there to do a job, everybody's professional, and whether you like everybody or not, you have to be professional.